being such a great forceful dialogue and a great force for peace. And you already quite famous in Russia.
I think that
Along with people from the US and our new people. Of chocolate. And this is some of the President Putin saying.
A fresh diplomatic tremor shakes Washington as Republican Congresswoman Paulina Luna, a close Trump ally, holds a face-to-face meeting with Russian presidential aide Kirill Dmitriev in New York. In optics unseen since pre-war times, Luna is seen accepting flowers and a gift box of chocolates bearing quotes from Vladimir Putin himself, signaling what the Kremlin calls a new spirit of dialogue between Moscow and Washington.
Thank you again for being such a great forceful dialogue and a great force for peace. And you already quite famous in Russia because you are really working on the first visit of our Duma, which is a Congress and meeting with the US Congress. So we really appreciate all of your efforts, and this is from Russia, from Russian people. We really celebrate your efforts on peace and dialogue.
Dmitriev, who leads the Russian Direct Investment Fund and is considered close to President Putin, publicly thanked Luna for promoting peaceful dialogue between US and Russian lawmakers. He announced plans for a delegation of Russian Duma members to visit the US Congress, the first such meeting in decades, under Luna's leadership. But the optics have triggered alarm bells in Washington, where any contact with sanctioned Kremlin figures remains politically explosive.
So we really appreciate all of your efforts, and this is from Russia, from Russian people. We really celebrate your efforts on peace and dialogue.
In her remarks, Luna expressed gratitude to the Russian government for cooperating in the release of archival materials related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, a symbolic gesture that Moscow used to promote historical truth and reconciliation. She said she hoped this could mark the beginning of a new era of peaceful dialogue.
I want to thank the Russian government for assisting in the release of the Kennedy files. As you know, especially in the United States, such an unfortunate event, but it's providing historical context that we can all learn from. So I hope to continue relationship building and a peaceful dialogue.
Back home, Luna's message was unambiguous, directed straight at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. She urged him to listen to his people, citing new Gallup data showing that 69% of Ukrainians now favor peace negotiations rather than continued war. The Congresswoman's words mark a clear shift in US Republican sentiment, from arming Ukraine to urging compromise. Luna has been increasingly vocal in calling for direct peace talks with Moscow, and even for the restoration of relations between the US and Russia. She has dismissed criticism over her meetings with Russian officials, saying the Cold War is over and that dialogue, not hostility, should define the next phase of US-Russia ties. Her meeting with Dmitriev was reportedly held after similar talks involving Trump administration insiders in New York last week.
There is no reason for hostility between Russia and the United States. The Cold War era is over.
During the meeting, Dmitriev presented Luna with Putin chocolates and spoke about a symbolic project, the Kennedy-Khrushchev World Peace Bridge, linking Russia and Alaska via a proposed undersea tunnel. He claimed the $8 billion project could be revived with technology from Elon Musk's Boring Company, a bold pitch for symbolic US-Russia connectivity.
A little gift of chocolate And this is some of the President Putin sayings. And this is just to let you know his thinking, because this one says that we don't give up on our people, and that's one of his messages. And then here he also talks about that it's important to basically have dialogue with Russia.
While Luna's message of peace has earned her praise in Russia, it risks deepening political divides in Washington. Her outreach comes as President Donald Trump's administration faces internal debate on whether to resume formal communication channels with Moscow.